Rundown live. KFC gone, K Marco in. April 26th, brought to you by MVMT Watches. Bling, bam.
Bling, bling.
K Marco doesn't have one. It was supposed to be KFC. KFC has one.
It's fucked up.
It's a brilliant idea. Basically, it's fancy watches that aren't fancy prices. So they start at, I think, $95. They're supposed to look like $500 watches. And this is a true story. The one thing I was going to do when Chernin bought Barstool and I had millions upon millions of dollars going to my bank account is I was going to go buy a Rolex for anywhere between 10 and 30 grand. That's how much Rolexes cost. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I'm like, I need to give myself a present. I've earned it. Renee gets a million presents. I get no presents. The only thing I could think of was the watch. It's so expensive, and I'm really not a huge watch guy. I'm more like this. Like, I want it to look good. Bam, MVMT watches. But I didn't want to spend 10 grand or 20 grand. Nobody knows. I could tell people this. If people see me wearing this MVMT watch, they're going to think it costs thousands because I'm that type of guy. I'm not going to wear a $95 watch because everyone knows I've made millions. But that's the whole point. Nobody would know. That's why it's such a great concept.
You actually noticed my movement watch when we were in San Francisco. Remember?
Yeah. I was like, what kind of watch is that?
You're like, wow. Is that a Rolex? I was like, nope. MVMT, bro.
Paying you too much. That's what I thought. Renee also saw this watch, had no idea where it came from, thought I bought it. She's like, oh, that must be an expensive watch. And she put it on her wrist and started wearing it. She's like, this is mine now because it looks like a fancy, cool watch. So MVMT watches, go to, what is it? MVMT.com/rundown. They'll give you 15% off and you can actually look like you're successful. It's brilliant. Everyone needs a suit watch. This will now be my suit watch. People will think it costs thousands of dollars. No, 95 plus 15% off. MVMT watches, MVMT.com/rundown. Bam. All right. What a read. And by the way, it's the truth.
Yeah,
I couldn't buy myself to bring the Rolex. But
I was wearing this today without even knowing we were doing the ad.
That was
unbelievable.
That was the single best ad read I think
that was electric.
Because the truth, when I saw it, it's like, oh, this is what.
Can I have one of those watches?
You can look at mine.
Get 15%.
Looks are free. Hey, the watches start at $95. Looks are free, my friend.
You can get 15% off, okay, Marco, if you go to mvmt.com/rundown. Blackhawks, Blues, great game 7, Big Cat. You kind of like, I don't like guys who handle losses like so. The sun will be out tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I don't like that. All right.
You want to press Big Cat.
I want blood, guts.
I know.
I don't like, it was a great series. What a great time to be a sportsman. You had the damn puck bounce off 2 fucking posts, Big Cat. Show a little fucking emotion. You feel bad for your guys. Oh, don't worry. It's going to be 75 and sunny. We have two Chicago baseball teams who will be in first. That's garbage.
I took it away from you, first of all, because I know you like to just like step on my, guts whenever I'm down in the dumps. I can't win with you, though, because if I am then down in the dumps, then you're like, oh, you're being a baby. And if I can deal with the loss well, it's like, so next time I'll just ask you beforehand, like, how do you want me to deal with the loss? It was a great game, unbelievable game, back and forth. I sat on my couch for 2 hours after the game being like, okay, so overtime's about to start. Like, why didn't that third goal go in? Still can't believe it hit both posts. And the ability to get over the loss has a lot to do with just the Blackhawks have been so good. And, it's hard to be in the playoffs every single year and go deep every single year and play this many hockey games every single year. And you see it. It's a fucking puck bounce. So it sucks. I thought they would have won the Stanley Cup if they had gotten through the Blues. It sucks, but got to move on.
Marco?
Sucks. I mean, I think I took it harder than Dan. Huge Blackhawks guy. Everybody knows that. Just because when I visited him in Chicago, they won the Cup and they took us out with the Cup all night. No big deal. Probably like top 5 night of my life, I think. So I've always rooted for the Blackhawks since then. So it was a really hard night for me personally.
Yeah, and Dan, maybe just you and I are different. I wasn't going to stomp on you because I respect the Blackhawks. I said that. But using my own experiences, the better your team is that you root for, I almost want them to win more because you're in such rarefied air. You're building
you do
on
realize
this
this
legacy.
Okay, all right. I get what you're saying, but you do realize this is the first round. I mean, it's not like when they lose in the Western Conference Finals, it's like, okay, you were a fucking puck bounce, to the Kings away from going to the Stanley Cup Finals. It's the first round. I obviously was very disappointed, but I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to cry about it the whole time? When I did that with the Cubs, you got really upset at me. So I thought I was upset. I didn't sleep well last night. I woke up, first thought in my mind was those 2 posts going back and forth. I put on a smiley face. The Cubs are fucking awesome. It's about to be summer. Let's move on.
It's like you're rolling around daffodils. You're rolling around daffodils with puppies and stuff.
I don't know what I can do to win to like properly.
You don't have to win.
It's like the Dave Portnoy handbook to be a sports fan. If you cheer for your team when they lose, you're a bad fan. If you're not sad, you're a bad fan. If you're too sad, you're a bad fan. If you lash out, you're a bad fan. It's like you're the only good fan in the world, my friend.
That was funny though. Weren't you yelling at Milmore for not doing the Michael Jordan face bouncing off the posts when it was a Barstool guy that did that and made it go viral?
Yeah, this Consiles guy or whatever. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Consiles, yeah.
I mean, how long? Honestly, how long has that guy been working for us?
I don't know.
A day?
Year, I think.
No.
This year.
All right, I didn't know that. I mean, he doesn't have Barstool's thing. I have no fucking clue. Someone said it after I saw it. I'm glad he did that. Good for him. I
put a logo on it.
Yeah, I mean, Consiles or whatever. Great. I mean, people always get on me. We have a lot of like fringe guys who have been hired by not myself. I don't know. What am I supposed to have a flow chart of all who these people are? Great job, Consiles.
That would be a wild flow chart to show to Chernin, like the podcast one.
Yeah, great. You know what? I'm very happy with Consiles that he did that. So good for him. If that guy wants to get a beer someday, we can talk about maybe going full time because that's the type of shit I like, Consiles. What did we have in here next? Is it still the suicide tackle? What?
Bathroom guy.
Oh, yeah. I got the thing written down. I took out. Okay. So the girl arrested in the bathroom, Kim Marco, you wanted this out. You want Jamarcus Russell in over this subject. Jamarcus Russell's in. We'll do Jamarcus next. I thought this was worthy because if you're the cops and you see this girl in the bathroom, what do? Obviously, if she's a guy, she's going to say she's a girl. This looked like a guy to me. The way she talked, the way she acted, guy. Okay, Marco, what do you got?
This is why this whole law thing is so stupid. I mean, like a few months ago, nobody would have ever cared that this girl she was a girl. No one would have ever cared about that waiting in line. And now, like, cops are looking for it. It's this big deal. It goes viral. Plus, wasn't it a single stall thing? Like, there was a line waiting for the bathroom. So, in that case, who even gives a fuck? I don't know. It just seems stupid.
I don't even care about any of that. Do you think it was a girl or a guy? If you saw this person, would you be like girl or guy?
Guy.
It was the type of person that you initially think guy, and then you get a little closer, and you're like, that's a girl.
Yeah, when she started talking, it was more clear.
Yeah, and she had a kind of a feminine face. This type of person, though, this is like when a guy walked.
Didn't she say, "Don't touch me, bro"? I've never heard a girl say that.
Yeah, no, it seemed like she was like when a person walks around like a crowded mall with like an AK-47, and they're like, "It's my right." Like, you can't arrest me. It's my right. She dressed up as close to a guy as possible just to try to like create a stir like this. So I don't know. She was trying to be quite the tomboy. Let's just say that.
I don't know if that's true at all, what you just said. I don't know if that's just who she is. I don't know that she was looking for trouble. I don't know how it started. I'm just curious.
Who doesn't carry an ID either?
Strange.
Very strange. Like you should be arrested just for that. Like, I think if you don't have an ID, you're up to something.
Jamarcus Russell, he's next. This was a K Marco subject they wanted in there. That Big Cat blogged. So Jamarcus sent a letter saying he'll play.
What's going to happen to you?
What?
It was just a suggestion. I said, "Do you want to talk about Jamarcus Russell?" It was a big story.
Okay, Marco.
Worthy.
I
It
wasn't
should be
like
in there. I'm
I
not
wasn't
pointing
fighting
fingers.
for Jamarcus Russell's story. Like I love this story.
Well, you want it in there. I mean, let me put it this way. Kim Marco. I've been doing the rundown this thing for years. Maybe once in the course of 3 years have I had somebody send an email, "Hey, you forgot a story. You did it today, so go for it." What do you want? What do you want to talk about, Jamarcus?
It was Dan's story. I thought he might want. It was a bigger viral story than this 2-month-old video that Spags blog. That's all I was saying.
Fair point.
The Jamarcus story was funny. I think it's pretty clear that the reason Jamarcus isn't in the league is not because he's too expensive. He just sucks at football. I do respect him, though, that he's like, he could easily be, a Vince Young or sitting at Applebee's, like obese and dying. And he's actually working out and trying to make it back. So that's admirable.
Big cut.
Why doesn't a team get him and just have him be the Hail Mary guy? They used to carry, sometimes teams would carry 2 kickers, like a long kicker and a short kicker.
Yep.
Perfect Hail Mary guy, right?
He's a good.
I guess you don't Hail Mary very often, but I don't know.
Listen, I think you said it, Dan. There's a lot of terrible quarterbacks in the league. He's terrible, by the way. I said he was terrible in the draft. He was
shit for brains.
I don't even think it's his brains. He's
it is
wildly inaccurate as a quarterback. Like
shit for
wildly inaccurate. I don't care if he was fucking Greg Maddux of quarterbacks. I still think he'd stink because he is so inaccurate. But there's so many crappy quarterbacks. You want to play for free? Knock yourself out. I mean, you're probably going to lose with him or the other guy you got. So, interesting story. What a great story that was.
Oh, my God.
Let's go to commercial break. Commercial break.
Poor K. Marco. When he told me that, when he's like, should we do Jamarcus Russell? I was like, go ahead and throw it out there. But Dave will just fucking he will derail the rundown just because you had a story you wanted.
That was a lively, spirited debate. I enjoyed being part of it.
Listen, Dave, you made me editor-in-chief. This is my job. I got to pick the important stories.
Exactly.
Just trying to step up a little bit. Show you.
I like that. We need more people to step up. Maybe if Milmore didn't go to bed at 7 o'clock every night and watch major sporting events to make vines and gifs, which he's paid to do because his original job of making cartoons, he just decided he won't do anymore. So maybe more people need more step-upness.
Me and Con Isles are stepping up.
Con Siles.
Shia LaBeouf. I don't get this story. This guy says he got sucker punched because he looks like Shia LaBeouf. He didn't say because the guy thought he was Shia LaBeouf. He says he punched him because he looked like Shia LaBeouf.
That makes it 10 billion times funnier. Like the fact that guy knew it wasn't Shia LaBeouf and he still knocked him out. It was like, change your face, man. You look too much like Shia LaBeouf. I can respect the hell out of this.
Okay, Marco?
That's funny, but this story just comes across as so fake. Did you read what he said? He's walking up the subway steps with his head down.
Hank, can you put in like a sad trombone right after K. Marco said that? Because Dave and I were laughing so much about this story, and then he's like, you guys suck at
I mean, if you want to laugh about fake stories, that's fine. I thought that was Dave's whole thing,
Oh, it was fake. It was fake. It was fake.
Yeah.
Well,
He said
really? You're just a dark rain cloud, so we'll move on.
The guy wants to go viral for looking like Shia LaBeouf, and now this is what you're feeding into it.
No, we'll move on. The next story, honestly, if you could have seen the conversations that were going on between the Barstool staff when we realized what happened with these Make Baseball Fun Again hats, it's one of the biggest screw-ups we've had in Barstool. So the story real quick. The Washington Nationals reach out and they say, hey, the subject of the email was, the Nationals want to make baseball fun again. We love your hats. Can you sell us 144 of them at wholesale price? So we get that time to time. It's like, oh, they want a discount. They're buying a lot. So me and Welker go back and forth. I said, we'll give them for free. Just say, we love Bryce Harper, big fan, send him for free. The lady clearly, when we said we're giving them for free, she's like, we're going to sell them. You're giving us for free? Somehow that totally got lost. So I'm sitting minding my own business this weekend and see the Nationals put our hats on sale. I didn't even realize they were our hats. I'm like, oh, they just fucking took them and then got their own. And then, I'm like, Welker, you see this? You see they're selling the versions of hats? He's like, no, those are ours. They're selling ours. They said they were going to do that. So we gave a multi-million-dollar company free merchandise that then they mark up 1,000% and are selling. It's headline news. It's everywhere. The Nationals are making, but it is the biggest miscarriage of capitalism in the history of capitalism. An unbelievably peak Barstool moment. The only thing I said to Renee, I said, the blog that I'm going to get out of this, it's almost better than if they paid, because it's so unbelievable that we could screw up this bad, to give them our hats for free for them to sell at full price. Unbelievable.
Can you explain how it went from she emailed and said, we're going to sell these, and then that got lost getting to you? So how did that
So
get
they
lost?
were emailing Welker, our shipping, and he sent
it sounds like it's his fault.
Well, no, there's some real, it was miscommunication. I thought it was, and I literally had steam coming out of my ears. So we get different interpretations. That first email, they clearly said, can you sell them to us at wholesale? To me, that meant discount. To Mike, he said he knew they were going to sell them. When we responded back that we love Bryce Harper and we'll give you him for free, she sent an email that said, we want to sell these. You want to give, you're going to give them for free. Welker confirmed something with me. He's like, did you see the email about the hats? But he didn't forward the entire email. I'm like, yes, I saw the email. Send him the hats. But he says he was talking about the ones I want to sell him. Here's what I yelled at Welker. I said, Mike, I'm not that stupid. You had to ask 100 times. You should have been like, you really want to give these hats for free that they're going to sell? But he says, I've trained him to be so scared of me that he was afraid to ask. So that's how it happened. That's how it happened.
This reminds me of the time I made the Fist City shirts and took them to Ditka's, and he just stole the box and then farted on me. So there's a little precedent, not to this scale where we just hand it over free, but I brought a box of Fist City shirts to Ditka's restaurant and was like, "Hey, coach, would love for you to wear one of these." And he's like, "Oh, okay, great," and just took the box and handed it to a waitress, and she just scurried off. And he's like, "Yeah, we'll sell them at the store." So it happens to us.
Second question, not to shit on our merchandise model here, but how hard was it for the Nationals to just make those hats? It's a white hat with just why'd they have to buy ours?
I would say that it probably is pretty easy, but they saw the sucker in the room and they're like, we'll just email these guys over at Barstool. They'll probably just send us a bunch.
The only thing I can say, sometimes there's a pretty significant lead time. We put in an order, we may not get them for 3 weeks or a month. So that could theoretically be it. I don't even know the Nationals knew originally they were our hats. They reached out to Touchstone, our merchandising. But when we responded, Barstool Sports loves the Nationals. But again, she's like, wait, well, we're selling them. Why are you giving them for free? And we're like, no, take them. So it was all our fault.
Dave, can I get your instant reaction on air? Bill Simmons' new show, what it's called. Can I tell you the name and have your instant reaction?
My heart's already going up. What?
Any Given Wednesday.
I hate it.
Premieres Wednesday, June 22nd.
I don't like that name.
I think it's pretty stupid.
But the more I think about it, just to remind people it's on Wednesdays, it'll probably be, you know what everyone's doing, Dan. And I don't know if you saw Rick Riggle. He got a show on TBS late. It's just the show where we're pitching. What are you laughing?
I love that name. I wish his name was Rick Riggle.
What is his name?
Rob Riggle, but Rick Riggle's 10 billion times better. Old Rick Riggle over there.
Everyone is getting the show that we're pitching. Simmons' show is going to be the show we pitched. The Riggle show is the show we pitched. So UTA, if UTA United Talent is watching this,
no chance.
Maybe take your thumb out of your ass for a second. Is that everyone's getting shows? We're just sitting here, literally giving the pirate ship has never. We are full speed ahead in a circle right now. We're giving Nationals shit. Everyone's getting goddamn stuff for free. I got Jack Edwards. By the way, the Jack Edwards, do you see the thing I tweeted this morning? The Jack Edwards respect the language.
I now think you were in the wrong, Dave, because you were fighting with a crazy person. Like, you can't fight with a crazy person like that. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
It's
and
not
again,
nice.
the quick story. That exchange that the Stewie put up of Jack Edwards coming from the clouds and being like, respect the language, bro, was one of the...
He called him out for parallel grammar.
Yeah,
Wild times. But I think the first step we need to take is for our own agency to actually watch this show, because there's zero chance they're watching this.
True. So maybe, again, let's just talk shit till somebody's like, hey, these Barstool guys, you know them? They're killing you. Oh, yeah, they're our clients. Everybody's getting our show. Everybody. Russell Westbrook. So Mark Cuban said, basically, he's a star, but not a superstar. He's a good player, not a next level elite. They went to the press conference. They asked him about it.
Were you aware of Mark Cuban's comments before the game when he said Kevin was the only superstar on this team, and how do you react to that?
Hold up. He's an idiot. Don't listen to this. He's an idiot. All right, that's what we got to say about that. He's an idiot.
And Dan, you blogged it, so I'll let you take it. But Durant just cut him off.
I didn't blog. I think did Clem blog it? I missed it this morning. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant's kind of a pussy now. I think he's a thin-skinned guy. Like, he gets very upset over the littlest things. I'm just gonna send this message out to Kevin Durant if he's watching this. Maybe UTA can get this in front of Kevin Durant. Choose where you go next wisely, because the media is not going to hold your hand like they do in Oklahoma City. He's had it real nice. He can pull this shit off. If he goes to LA, if he goes to New York, anywhere else, they're going to eat him alive, because all I've seen from Kevin Durant the last 2 years is he gets very sensitive with the media.
Okay, Margo?
I totally agree. He's also had a bunch more dirty plays, ejections, stuff that I didn't see years earlier. And him and Russell, they talk a lot of shit for a team that hasn't won and underachieves pretty much every year. But for the Russell thing, what Cuban said was completely wrong. He is a superstar, and he's top 3 most fun guy to watch in the league. He's probably just trying to get in his head, which seemed to rattle him a little bit. But
I kind of agree with what Cuban was saying.
Didn't he say it after the game?
No, he said it before the game.
Oh. Well, whoever said it, I thought the main takeaway is Durant, you can't cut that guy. When Durant cut him off, that's how superstars treat lesser players.
Yeah.
So you actually reinforce his entire point when you didn't that's what LeBron used to do to the Cavs when someone asked, let me handle that. You can't do that when the subject is, are you a superstar? Would any superstar ever let themselves get cut off like that when the question is to them? So I agree with Cuban on that. As far as Durant being more edgy, I feel like when you're as skinny as him, at some point you got to develop some sort of edge. So I don't hate that.
Ooh.
Wait, hold on. Dan, you don't think Westbrook's the superstar?
It's a tough thing to define. I really only think there's 3 or 4 superstars, but that's just me. I think it's basically Durant, LeBron, Steph. That's it, right? I'm talking about guys who can go and sell shoes in China, shit like that, where they go to China and there's 2 million Chinese people just going.
Tim Duncan,
nuts.
Tim
no,
Duncan?
Duncan's not
because he's over the hill. You mean?
Yeah, now he is. I mean, he was, and he was definitely because of his play. I don't know. It's a stupid debate, but I sort of kind of see what Cuban was saying.
Westbrook also did have a really good burn on Villanueva before Durant cut him off.
What did he say?
He said now Villanueva can go back to get ready for sitting on the bench and watching 82 games again next year.
There is no burn that you can have more on Villanueva. Didn't KG say he was dying of cancer or something?
He looked like a cancer patient.
Yeah, I mean, anything you say to Villanueva now is basically inviting him for an ice cream cone. Last one, politics. Chris Christie, there's 2. Chris Christie, this was very funny to me, dancing to Springsteen. The thing that I thought was so funny about it is that he was in a suit and tie and nobody else in the entire crowd was, and he was jamming out. Just take the tie off. He's loosening up, but not. And then if you want to go with Lena Dunham, who basically said she's going to move to Canada if Trump wins, and Trump has now used this to his advantage. If you guys want to tackle either of those, K. Marco, what do you got?
Chris Christie doing things is just one of my favorite things of the internet. Just him eating the M&Ms, just his preposterously shaped body is just comedy. Lena Dunham. Oh, he didn't even like loosen the tie up. Like he had the top button still done.
Yeah.
Lena Dunham. The ratio of stories that I hear about Lena Dunham compared to what she's actually done is like kind of weird to me. You hear a lot about Lena Dunham. Like I don't give a fuck what Lena Dunham says about anything, and she's always in the news.
That's two great points from K. Marco.
Great points.
Thank you.
Christie, I think Christie might be a little scarred from the softball pictures, and that's why he's not taking off his shirt and tie anymore. Like if he wears anything else, because his body is insanely shaped, so you can't really like get on him when he's wearing his tie. It's like he's a politician, whatever. The minute he puts on anything else, you're like, whoa, Chris Christie, dude. Like, what is that?
It wouldn't surprise me if he slept in that. Like he just was full size tie.
Right. He saw those pictures of him throwing the softball a couple years ago, and he's like, I will never take this shirt and tie off again. So wait, I missed the Trump thing. Trump is basically now spinning it as a positive, being like,
oh yeah,
if you vote for me, Lena Dunham will be gone.
He basically said the election, it would have been nice to win, but now he has to win.
That's genius. Genius move.
Like now he's playing for real. So that's the rundown. Anything after? Anything late? Rundown post show? No Deflategate. Credit to me.
Deflategate. Skip Bayless is gone from ESPN. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Where's he going?
Probably FS1. They're just fucking taking all the hot takes.
Who?
They're compiling them all. What?
Who's gone?
Skip Bayless is gone from ESPN.
I have some late breaking news.
Yes.
You know who else slid into my DMs last night?
Who?
Little Johnny Football.
Oh.
How did you not fucking? How are you? Wait, hold on. How are you
just a message to all the stoolies out there? Not everything is as it seems, and the truth will come out.
What? Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
you saying
he don't like you, big Johnny? Cat. He don't like you. He don't like you.
I would hope he doesn't.
Yeah, no, but he does like me still. Listen, there's some innuendo, and he hasn't said anything in the news, but the truth will come out, Dan. The truth will come out, and then all the haters. We got you guys all on our big old list of people who are going to fucking come back and get. K. Marco, you're still on the good side. Don't worry.
Wait, did he name
mention me?
Good and bad side?
What?
He named who's on the good and bad side?
He just, we got our list.
So now you're keeping.
And we're checking that list like fucking Santa Claus. Who's been naughty and who's been nice. And when it all comes out in the wash, Dan, we'll know who's been on whose side.
I'm so heartbroken that the fucking drug addict woman beater doesn't like me anymore. Oh my God.
Whoa, alleged.
We'll see what happens when this court case, it all will come out in the wash.
Things aren't always as they seem.
Exactly.
You guys
that's
you realize that you're fucking
about yesterday
for like a guy who beat up a chick just
your DMs? The news.
Oh my God. If it's that easy to buy you, Dave. Wow.
He didn't buy anything. As Johnny said, be careful what bridges you burn. I said, I know, Johnny. Me and you, boy. Me and you. Let's sort this thing out. Because I said I don't condone beating women. Johnny said, just let's stay together. Let's stay strong. It's like that scene in Gladiator when everyone's in the middle, huddled tight. That's where we're at right now. We'll see what the courts say. We'll see. Let the facts play out. And this isn't Goodell. This isn't his world. This is actual due process and innocent till proven guilty.
Well, all right. So forget the alleged beating his girlfriend up, because you're right. It is alleged, and I'm not going to. I won't say that he's guilty of anything. What about the fact that he is like a burnout washout, and no one's gonna like? Let's just talk about Johnny, the guy who can't stop drinking and is now out of the NFL. We'll throw away the alleged stuff because you're right. That's not fair of me to go accusing him of anything that he hasn't been, found guilty of. But what about everything else that like is real?
I don't know.
That's so
we'll deal with that when we get to it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Dan, it's you deal with one thing at a time. He just got indicted. He's not exact. If you're asking, is he fucking throwing the ball around the yard right now, getting shit? No, he's in cuffs. So we got to take one step at a time. Get rid of this case, which I think maybe we will. We'll let the facts play out, and then he'll either be innocent or guilty. If he's guilty, I won't have his back. But if he's innocent, like I think me and Johnny, the way we kind of saw eye to eye yesterday. Then you know what? We may get somewhere. Maybe I'll go down and work them out myself. So we'll see.
All right.
Still says he reads every day. Still says Big Stoolie. He's watching you. He's watching you.
That's fine. Listen. That's totally fine. I don't. The alleged stuff. I'll give him that. I'm not going to be. In fairness, I am not going to say that any of that is true until he has his day in court. But the fact that he is drunk all the time, out of the NFL, screwed up all his chances. I'm not going to.
I've said I love his chances all along until this case came up. And again, I have no reason not to take Johnny Football at his word yet. He's never lied to me once. So we'll see how these.
He stood you up.
We'll
like
see.
Times.
We'll see how this
so
court case plays out, and then we'll go from there.
Minor setback for a major comeback.
He was basically like, what's the one guy I can play and who I have played over and over like a fiddle? Oh yeah, that Dave Portnoy guy. Let me get him on the line. We'll repair my image by having him, start stumping for me again.
I'm not stumping. I just, let's let the facts play out. I just think every American deserves that right, including Johnny Football.
He deserves that for sure. I haven't said anything to contrary.
Okay, so we'll see. That's the rundown, I guess. I almost forgot that part. It was a crazy hour. He was coming at me.
Was it
Jack Edwards? It was all at once.
What time was it at?
It was like 7 p.m. somewhere around there. I think
Probably been up for like 48 hours.
He's watching you, Dan.